Hello, and welcome back to yet again to the fascinating world of the Darkened Crypt. I'm your guide, Mr. Cornwell, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. We often find churches and religious sites to be at the heart of many intriguing stories filled with reports of unexplained phenomena. From ghostly apparitions to encounters with mysterious beings, these stories have a certain charm that piques our interest. We're going back in time to a quaint small village in western Pennsylvania in the 1960s today. There have been claims that a young woman saw something unusual happen at a Catholic service. Among the assembly, a pair caught attention, and not just because of their stylish and unique hair and enchanting beauty, but also for their blue suits tailored from an exquisite yet unidentified fabric. What made this couple even more captivating was their interaction with the ceremonies of the Catholic Mass. It was as if, despite being unfamiliar with the processes, they were eager to watch what was happening, almost as if they were people viewing a Renaissance festival pious play with those two singing and dancing nuns, which obviously sparked the curiosity of our pious witness. The woman claimed that the couple appeared to be talking telepathically, which was an intriguing idea, even if it looked improbable. However, her assertion had a lasting effect. Imagine being able to eavesdrop on a conversation that was happening right in front of you, but silently. The couple was aware of this intrusion, and their conversation centered on blending in. After the service, their fast departure and travel to the neighboring hills piqued the witness's interest. As our pious witness followed these unusual people lurking after them, let us be honest, this sighting of these people back in the 1960s would have been a shocking experience. Would you have left them alone? Because what follows is beyond imagination. Waiting for them at the edge of the woods was a figure that could rival the height and ominous presence of Lurch from the Addams family, clothed completely in black. It was as if these persons had a contact point for extraction from the area by means of UFO or other vehicle. The trio then disappeared into the forest, leaving our witness with a tale that continues to intrigue us today. So you see, there's always an element of mystique and wonder and awe in these mysterious accounts. This intriguing case, while still unverified, shares some fascinating similarities with other church encounters reported globally. It's like reading a chapter from an engaging book of unsolved mysteries. Picture this. In 1964, in the heart of Mexico, witnesses described a peculiar entity, wrapped in a misty fog, that appeared to glide toward the church's altar during Mass, then simply faded away. It's fascinating, isn't it? According to the paper, The Colony as the Mystical Body of Christ by J.S. Hughes, there existed a Mexican corpus mysticum, grounded in the vernacular theologies and spiritual worldview surrounding the violent upheaval and death brought by Spanish colonization, referred to as the Mortandad, or Death World. This suggests that in that era of tremendous societal and cultural trauma, mystical, supernatural beliefs and purported sightings of entities or manifestations may have been relatively common, especially in religious contexts like churches, as people grappled with making sense of the calamity. While the specifics of the entity seen vanishing from a Mexican church are not detailed, such an account would align with the magical thinking and embrace of mystical folk traditions that arose defensively among indigenous populations in response to the colonial cataclysm and subjugation of their belief systems. In the very same year, but several thousand miles away in the rural regions of Canada, locals were treated to a spectacle of a large, saucer-shaped object landing near a secluded church. It's fascinating to see these types of incidents occurring all over the globe, crossing all cultural and geographical boundaries. History is filled with instances where churches and sacred sites have seemingly acted as magnets for unusual crafts, and let's face it, unusual beings, otherworldly events. A classic example of this is the 1950s Contact T movement. Here, individuals like George Adamski claim to have had direct interactions with human-like space brother aliens. Now, isn't that something? In more recent times, there has been a surge in mass UFO sightings over religious shrines and temples, carrying this intriguing pattern into the present day. It's interesting to note the differences among these incidents as well, such as the nature of the entity, the location, and the time of occurrence. It's a fascinating world out there, isn't it? So let's keep exploring these interesting events, enjoying the thrill of uncovering the known and unknown. Isn't it intriguing to contemplate the potential link between these sacred sites and such extraordinary phenomena? One fascinating proposition suggests that places of worship strategically built upon powerful Earth energy grids and secular nodes could potentially serve as interdimensional passageways or wormholes. This theory proposes that these gateways could enable a time slip between our known reality and other planes of existence. Isn't that a thought-provoking idea? Some free-thinking religious scholars even propose that biblical accounts of prophets interacting with angels or heavenly messengers could be interpreted as encounters with beings from other dimensions. Moreover, numerous Eastern philosophies and New Age thought trends appreciate the idea of sacred locations and energy vortexes based in ancient holy sites. They suggest these places might attract both positive and negative energies from unseen worlds. Under this lens, the possibility arises that mysterious entities might be attracted to or accidentally seep into these spiritually resonant locations. But let's not forget that there are plenty of more down-to-earth possibilities too. For instance, many reported entity encounters, particularly in devout communities across rural America, could be explained by a blend of vivid imagination, local superstition, sleep paralysis, or simply misreading everyday occurrences. The strong faith in the divine and the supernatural in these areas could potentially influence witnesses to interpret anything unusual as a mystical, heavenly, or even demonic experience. No matter how you look, these curious church incidents certainly offer plenty of food for thought. From the eerie tales of grim reaper-like apparitions to the tangible sensations of dread and unease, these stories bear the classic signs of a paranormal encounter. But remember, these are just theories and possibilities to contemplate. I encourage you to keep an open mind, and who knows, you might just come up with your own theory. Until then, my Cryptonaut fan, as you delve deep into these mysteries, remember it's not about the answers, but the journey to find them. That's the real adventure. We'll be seeing you in the Darkened Crypt.